What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back, and I hope everyone is doing well after last night's, I should say, yesterday's game. Listen, this is not for content purposes. I promise you, after the game and after I did the live with you guys, I had a couple hours sleep. I don't know whether it was the prelude for me needing a bit more sleep, but I had a good sleep after that game. Missed all the 3 o'clock kickoffs, had to catch highlights. Very unlike me. But yeah, that game yesterday, it sent me into a little bit of a coma, not gonna lie. I think I might keep it on speed dial for where I'm having trouble sleeping at night. But listen, people, hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below. And again, with the likes, you have to do that for me, man. It really helps out the videos, helps out the channel, and it's free to do. So just click the thumbs up, get the likes up. Thank you to Arinda, Mr. P, and Russ for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated, guys. Thank you to Sean, who's become a member of the channel. Membership link is in the description and is also next to the subscribe button called join. Chris is saying, KJ, I got my new manager choice. Okay, Chris, what's your name, man? Ming in the house saying, yes, the thinking man's Leeds fan live here. Listen, there'll be a bit of that today. There'll be a bit of that. Lee Goldup saying our squad is no worse than Sunderland's, but yet they play better football than we do, simply down to the manager. We're going to speak about all of that, Lee. We're going to speak about all of that. Okay, Hyru as well saying, never seen the coach ask for players repeatedly and ownership so slow to replenish soul talent, adding the lack of transparency in this whole situation is very frustrating. Yeah, Hyru, a bit of comments in there just to break up for me, but I got you. But yes, we're going to speak about that as well, Hyru, because with everything, as you know on this channel, man, there's always a cause and effect. There's always a reason for things happening. And I'm going to talk about that today, especially in light of Farke's comments and also stuff as well going around the league as well, which is very similar to us. That shows that we are not in a unique situation and that you can overcome adversity. And we're going to speak about that. Nico Kovac, man, Chris, I haven't heard of that of him in a while. I don't even know what he's been up to. I'll be honest, Chris, I don't even know what he's been up to. Bobby here asking where's all the David Moyes stuff come from. That comes exclusively from TalkSport, Bobby. If Simon Jordan mentioned, I don't know, I don't even know another name, it would have been another one that people would have ran with as well. So there is no link to David Moyes or anything like that. It's just something that TalkSport came up with. But listen, people, we're for a good time, not a long time, okay, today. But listen, one thing that we have dodged is Oliver Skip. And you guys know I've said as well, he's on my ban list off this channel. Don't want to speak about this guy, but I feel good. I feel good today. I feel relieved. And Spurs fan must be jumping for joy today. I mean, there's going to be pubs around North London sold out in the fact that they are getting 20 million plus for Oliver Skip from Leicester. That is insane to me. And if we had done anything like this, I'd have been screwing. Honestly, I would have been absolutely I would have been out of my mind. I don't even know if I could have set the stream up. But yeah, Oliver Skip, firmly off the table. He has gone to Leicester, 20 million plus. And it just puts into light, doesn't it, that when you've seen Scott McTominay and some Man United fans thinking that he shouldn't be sold for more than 20 or 30, if Skip's going for 20 and what McTominay does, he's not the greatest player, don't get me wrong. But if he's going for 20, McTominay has to go for like 40, 50. You know, one of those. But yeah, listen, people, we are off this one now. We never have to hear Oliver Skip again. He is gone. He is gone. Yeah, I mean, listen, Dewsbury Hall was 30 and Skip, yeah. But as we always say, though, people, a player is only worth as much as the buying club is willing to pay. And obviously, Leicester feel that Skip is a big part of a puzzle that they need. Fairs, but I'm just glad it is over. It is over. Eloquent saying, yeah, man, lots of partying going over here in North London, and I was wondering what it was all about. It's that, and it's all that. Matt saying here, I actually think KG, this league is so poor that 3 to 4 additions to our starting 11 gives us a realistic push for promotion. Matt, great point. One window I didn't get up from yesterday. Crazy. While I'm getting, here we are. Never mind. And Matt is absolutely right. Look, we'll speak about yesterday's game, and we'll speak about that now, just briefly. But people, everyone's talking about, you know, the squad needing 3 or more signings, as Matt did there, and we do. We absolutely do need more signings. Farke does need more signings, but this 11 here should be more than enough to beat West Brom. It should be more than enough. West Brom are being looked at as a top six club, and look how bad that team was. It's got nothing to it. There's absolutely nothing to it. It's meat and potatoes. It's a very direct style of play. There's nothing to be scared of there. But we went there tepid yesterday. We went there, and look, from the comments I've got, a lot of people are saying it's a good point, and I hear it. But for me, this 11 here should be more than good enough to beat West Bromwich Albion away from home, especially with the team that West Brom have. And it just, for me, we had the handbrake on yesterday. I think 6 touches in the opposition box tells you that. Every time that we were looking to break, we was going back. There wasn't enough bodies filling up the box for options in the middle. We went there to not lose yesterday, and for me, that is pretty poor. I've got to say that it's pretty poor. Look, good point, clean sheet, absolutely got it. But to go to West Brom in the position we're in, where we haven't won in the league in quite some time, and I'm going to bring that up in a bit, people, is poor. It is a poor result. It's a good result on one hand, but it's a poor result on another. And I hope you can understand what I'm saying there. Sam John saying 1 win in 13. Well, look, we're here. We're here. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, because I've made my stance clear, I don't count this as a fresh season. I don't, because there's just too much hangover from last season for me, both in terms of poor results, poor management decisions in terms of playing injured Georgi instead of swapping him out for a bit, letting him recover, keeping Ampadu in central defense, not using Creswell and etc., and putting Ampadu back in midfield. I think that we could have done more last season towards the end. I do. So I still count that from the end of last season to now. I do. And look, when you're looking at these results, you got the Watford 2-2 draw. For me, I call that the Liam Cooper game. That's the game that Liam Cooper started and absolutely had a nightmare in it, both defensively. That's where he put his arm up for offside and he had 3 defenders behind him. That was a poor game, the Watford away. We beat Hull, cool game. We then lose to Coventry away. Poor result against Sunderland, and I actually remember that. And again, people say I don't give people credit. That was the Elan Meslier game, because if it wasn't for Elan Meslier in that game, we would have lost against Sunderland at home. We would have eventually lost that unbeaten Ellen Road record a week, a few days before the Blackburn one, because Elan Meslier literally kept us in that game. Everyone was poor in that one. We then lose our home record to Blackburn, the Sammy Spadek's goal. And then from there, this was the Patrick Bamford game. See, people can't say I'm fair. I'm not fair. This is where Patrick Bamford, he likes to go to Middlesbrough. It's one of his former stomping grounds, get booed a lot there. And he likes to play that villain role. And he was good in this game for us in this one. And this is the one where we allowed Middlesbrough to have the ball, much like West Brom yesterday. But the difference was in this Middlesbrough game is that we had Somerville and we had Jorginho to hit them on the break and punish them. We didn't have that yesterday, of course. And then, of course, obviously the QPR game was absolutely atrocious. The Southampton game was atrocious. But the point I'm trying to make is, since the Middlesbrough game on the 22nd of April, we haven't won a league game. The Norwich game, of course, 4-0, that was brilliant. But then the Southampton one was the absolute killer. And that's where Russell Martin was cool. But it just shows you, people, Daniel Farke needs signings, and he's made that point. But we need wins. We need wins. We can't keep on doing this in terms of 2 wins in 13. That's not good enough. So whatever way you want to dress it up and whatever adversity we're facing, these are not good results. And the team I just showed you there is more than good enough to win football games, people. So listen, let's go on to Farke's comments. Many positives. We are happy when we win with offensive fireworks, but that wasn't the case today. This outcome after a difficult week, I'm pleased. We lack creativity behind Mateo Joseph. In the last week, I would have expected Georgi and Cree here, and we're going to speak about that. Cannot press a button after conceding 6 in two games. Many compliments to my players, and the reaction today, a priceless point. I have not won here many times over the years, and he kept saying this as well, by the way, which, listen, okay. But look, just to end it, fullback, midfielder, and 2 offensive players is what Farke would like before the window shuts. And he says, we will see if that happens. It shouldn't be we will see. It should be this will happen. But look, we will see. Time, proof will be in the pudding. But this thing here, in the last week, I would have expected Georgi and Cree here. Well, you don't have them, Daniel. You don't have them, and that is the cause and effect is because we didn't get promoted. That's why you don't have them. If we had gone up, we would have had such a good base to start from. As he likes to say, the basement is fine, but we don't have them because we didn't go up, and that is on you as well. big time on you for your tactical inflexibility and decisions you made towards the end of last season. Nothing to do with the start of the season. Everyone had a blip last year. We had two, and that last one was unacceptable. So you can't complain about not having Georgie and Cree here because they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be in the championship. They should be in the Prem where we should have been. But listen, that aside, Farke does need help. We know he's going to need help. He needs to replace those players because there was a chasm yesterday between the defense and attack. There was nothing there. There was no connection, and he needs those kind of stardust players in order to be successful. We know that. We've seen it through his time at Norwich, Glatchenbach. We've seen it all. We've seen it all. But he has to hold some responsibility here as to why these players aren't here. By the way, Georgie leaving, that was a tough pill to swallow. We are not the only ones that lose key players. Burnley losing Odebear for 25 million. They also have a sell-on clause to Chua for about 3 million, so they haven't got the full money for that, but that's standard practice. But Burnley, in the face of adversity, going back Cardiff 5-0. And listen, let me just tell you, that own goal for the goalkeeper is a disgrace, but that's championship football for you. That's championship football for you. But Burnley, they didn't, lick their wounds and say, oh, Odebear, he could have been this year's Somerville, which he could have been. They've said, no, we're going to get on with business. And they've scored now 9 goals in 2 games, people. 9 goals in 2 games. I always say this, and people won't like this, but I'm going to say it anyway. When something bad happens to you, you either go 2 ways, don't you? You can either become a junkie, be a drunk, or you can go the other way and say, you know what, I'm not going to let this thing define me. I'm going to go and be successful in spite of this and use it as a force to drive me. And at this football club, I always feel like we go down the drunk route where we say, oh, something's bad happened. You know what? That gives us an excuse not to win a football game. And that's what happened again. Burnley are not looking for excuses. They battered Cardiff 5-0, battered them. Exactly, Guy Fawkes. You sink or swim, big time, fight or flight. And I just feel that we always, if ever Leeds United, this football club, has an excuse not to win a game or do something positive, they will use it all the time. And people accept it. And that's just the malaise in the fan base for me, because this was not, when I first started supporting Leeds United, this is not how the support was. It was a club that enjoyed being one of the best in England, one of the best around Europe, but the fan base is jaded. But that's why I'm here, to lift you up, lift your standards up as well. So, yeah. Listen, Mr. Anthrope saying Burnley will start like Leicester. Just watch this while we're still wondering how we're going to play. And that's why I ask as well, people, at this point in time, without Somerville, Jorginho, as we saw yesterday, very different. What is our style of play? What would you say that was yesterday? I couldn't tell you. What I saw yesterday was that we were just hoping not to get beat. And that will not get you promotion. That won't. Nor will the results that I showed you in the previous slide. That's not going to get you promotion. That kind of form, it isn't. You need to do better. Listen, talking about our other, people around us, I was very surprised at this, because when I went to sleep, Sheffield United were 2-0 up. I saw Harmer scored 1, assisted 1. I thought, geez, here we go. But then, in the end, they draw 2-2. So there's still, things that can happen in this league. We know no one's going to go on a 46 winning game streak. It doesn't happen in the Championship. But they still have their stardust in Harmer for me, and I need him. I need him out this league, people. I'm not going to lie. I need him out this league because he's too good for this division. Way too good. Yeah, men behind the ball style. That's what it was. It was so bad yesterday, and I can't say that anymore. I think it kind of showed with the match reaction being 17 minutes, and 7 minutes of it was just about the game. The rest was about other things not to do with the game. So there. LUFC Ryan saying the next few weeks, well, it's 2 weeks, Ryan. We got like 12 days left of this window. A huge get it wrong with transfer business, and we could be left back in the Championship for years. Yeah, it's a scary proposition. We have to get the bodies in. And I said, I messaged Connor yesterday. I said, before the Sheffield Wednesday game, we need at least 2 in. We need 2. We cannot go again with 2, because for me, it's not that I don't think that this team is good enough. I just feel like it will give them an excuse not to win at Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, we had a problem replacing Georgi, and we didn't get any new signings, and the team was very upset about this. I need them to get in some signings so that all these excuses can go away, because that's what it feels like for me. And that's why I've got on the graphic. You either think that there's reasons behind this or there's excuses. There's only 1 or 2 camps you fall into. Um, yeah, listen, yeah, and exactly. Winning is contagious, so is drawing. Exactly. Winning is a tonic for everything. It's like I said when we was going on that undefeated streak. Winning is the perfect tonic for any problems you have. One of the problems we had that wasn't spoke about when we was on that winning streak or unbeaten streak, I should say, was Pascal being out. Not one person was mentioning Pascal being out. It wasn't until we went on that horrible run where people saying we missed Strauch, but we didn't miss him before, and that's what winning does. It covers up a lot of things. It just makes everything better. Yeah, Ryan here saying avoiding defeat is just so far away from Leeds play. It's concerning. Exactly, Ryan. You know, even though the football wasn't always the greatest last season, we was always on the front foot, always. But it just seems that we've got fear that's crept into our game, as in because I said it yesterday, but look at Daniel Farker's body language on the touchline. He looked scared to lose. He looked absolutely scared to lose because he would have known that the pressure would have just like fallen on him yesterday if he had lost the game. But look, it's not all on Farke now. We That's been and gone. Everything I've said has been and gone. Those games have gone. Georgie Cree have gone. It's now on the 49ers to provide him with signings because if he doesn't get signings, he's not going to be successful. He's not that kind of manager. So unless the 49ers are thinking, no, actually this squad is good enough, maybe Daniel, you should go and we'll get in a coach that can use this team. They are going to have to back him with at least 4 signings. And I mean at least 4. So if we get less than 4, for me, that's a bit of an issue. Greg saying, what about Sam Johnston from Palace? They are looking to offload him. Yeah, I think he's staying in the Prem, Greg. He's looking at, I think it's Leicester, Forest, maybe Southampton in there as well, Greg. But yeah, he's not coming to the Championship, I'm afraid. Um, yeah, Gavin saying recruitment team getting away with no blame, in my opinion. No, they're getting some. I've just mentioned it. I've just mentioned it. They're getting blamed. Something else that popped up yesterday in the comments was, let me just cross off some of these. Was this the Jorginho sell-on fee? I've just told you about Odebear and his former club getting a 3 million windfall. Well, Hoffenheim are going to get at least 6 to 7 million euros windfall, about 5.5 million. But guys, this is again cause and effect. The reason why we're getting such a little low profit or lack of profit from Georgie sales because we didn't go up. So if we had gone up, listen, Hoffenheim would have much preferred us to go up, use Georgie in the Prem, double that transfer fee to like 70, 80 million, and then they're getting a bigger windfall from it. They would have much preferred us to go up. I'm sure they're not, going to turn away from 6 or 7 million euros and go, oh, is that all? They're gonna accept that, but they would have much preferred it to be bigger. So again, we're only getting little profit from this. First of all, because that 40 million is a relegation release clause, which in itself is a good one because we're getting more than what we paid for him. Usually those relegation release clauses are about 15, 20 million for a player bought for near 35. So there is a positive there. But the reason why we're not getting more after the Jorginho thing is because we didn't go up. So it's all well and good blaming, even with all of them, you can blame that. But if we did what we were supposed to do as a football club, we wouldn't have to be worrying about just giving Hoffenheim 6 to 7 million. We should be doing more with Jorginho in the Premier League, but we didn't do our jobs, people. So again, I don't like always palming it off on people. I like to look internally first. And if we were doing what we should have done as a football club, we wouldn't have to be disappointed with having to release 6 to 7 million off a 40 million sale to Brighton. And it is as simple as that, I'm afraid. Whether you like it or not, it is as simple as that. Yeah, yeah. Richard saying typical Borough, great at Ellen Road. Next game get beat at Derby. Yeah, and you saw that goal, didn't you? Caden Jackson just ran through 1-on-1. We don't get openings like that. First of all, we don't move the ball quick enough to get that. Again, internally looking at ourselves. But you saw what Caden Jackson did. He ran through half the pitch and rounded the goalkeeper and got it. When we played against Middlesbrough in that first half, more specifically, they were a defensive, solid unit. But yeah, that's what happens though. You raise your game against Leeds United, and we know that as well. We know that. I think that is it, people. I think I've got everything that I needed to get off my chest for this one. I just feel like we just need to do more. And just going by the comments from yesterday in terms of people accepting the draw, I do get it on one hand. I do. The clean sheet is brilliant, even though West Brom were very profligate with their finishing. I thought they were very poor when they got in some real good positions against us. And another positive, of course, was Pascal Straug, who looked absolutely immense yesterday. But I just feel that we should be demanding a bit more from a team that puts out Nonto, Dan James, Joseph up front, and Joel Peru, who, Farke is back in this season, which is good to see. Hopefully that builds his confidence up and we get the best of Joel Peru this year. I still back him to do so. I'm not going to jump off that one yet. I'm going to keep with it for now. But yeah, we should be demanding more from that kind of team. We should be. And yeah, Greg, just to end the stream, the bottom line is we are now paying for the failure of last season. Beautifully ended. And yeah, we'll go from there. But listen, people, we've discussed a few things today. Drop your comments on anything discussed below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. People, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And hopefully I'm back later for a signing stream. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But listen, people, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Peace out.